Double F1 World Champion Fernando Alonso is keenly looking forward to the end of the ground effect era, with the series introducing new regulations in 2026. F1 cars are set for changes to both the power unit and chassis, as they'll be lighter and smaller, with more emphasis on electrical energy, favouring near 50-50 split with the ICE. This will mark the end of ground effect cars, which were introduced in 2022 with the aim of creating better racing by increasing downforce levels, particularly when following a car closely, but it hasn't transpired as much, with various issues throughout, from porpoising to overtaking being very difficult in 2025 given the dirty air problem. So Alonso says he won't miss the generation of cars, but acknowledged that this may change given the 2026 machines are slower than the current ones, which are up there with the quickest in history. Next year probably will go slower, and we miss them when they drive next year's cars because we want to be as fast as possible, said Alonso. But I think the current cars are definitely too heavy, too big, and the ground effect and ride heights we're riding are not really fun to drive, and probably even to follow cars. The expectation of this regulation was that it would follow more closely and have better action on track, which wasn't really a success. Maybe the first year was a little bit, but not after that. So yeah, I don't think we'll miss much of this. One of the reasons for overtaking being more difficult than it was a few years ago is the grid being more compact, as the teams have developed their way through the ground effect era. In Brazil qualifying, for example, less than a second saturated the top 15, so if each car is running at a pace similar, it's very difficult to close in and make an overtake. That's highlighted by the fact that the dirty air effect has increased since 2022, with all of this evident in 15 and 21 Grand Prix being won from pole. So Verstappen, who dominated much of the era, echoed Alonso's kind of comments, saying he won't miss these cars. It was good for Raul in the beginning, but not anymore. I don't think you can follow a bit better, but a bit more controlled anyway. With these old cars, you really had extreme oversteer or understeer in certain places, and you just don't have that now. So there's less downforce, and you create the problem with the slipstream with the cars. It isn't efficient anymore. On some tracks, it's simply not enough for overtaking. The full-time world champion even faced physical difficulties with the car, considering they're approximately 50 kilograms heavier than the end of 21. I didn't find them the most fun to drive. It's been comfortable in all these years. My whole back is falling apart, my feet hurt anyway. Physically, it hasn't been the best. When you do scans, that you don't look good. On the other hand, if you look at motocross, we have nothing to complain about, but if you know what it could be, I'd rather we go for what we had in 2015-16. This isn't to say 26 cars are perfect or exactly what the championship needs, but it's been well documented these kind of drivers have had problems. Leclerc said it wasn't the most fun to drive, and when talks of ditching power units in favour of V8s, George Russell confirmed he's excited for the change, saying it's going in the right direction, having smaller, lighter cars who always remember good stuff in the past, but you'll never really remember the bad stuff. So we're not going to show how much the high performance will affect it, and we'll probably just focus on the negatives, but that's how life goes, a Mercedes driver added. Hey guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share and subscribe. Follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily F1 news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.